Welcome back to another episode of Let's Not Argue with myself and the owner and CEO of Go Vegan Philly, voted the best new vegan restaurant in Philadelphia by you, Mr. Sean Thomas. How you doing, brother?
Doing amazing, man. Good to be here. Good to be back.
Well, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. And we're still under the stay at home order, at least here in our part of the state. And it
Yeah.
probably will be a while, but that's not what we're really here to talk about today. We got some interesting things to talk about today. But before we do that, I always tell you, go ahead and plug the restaurant real quick.
Go Vegan Philly on Instagram and Facebook. Go Vegan Philly, our restaurant, which we're doing curbside takeout right now. We're on DoorDash and Grubhub. We're in Conshohocken, PA. That's 19428. We're inside the Eisenberg's Deli. For now, because of the shutdown, like I said, we're doing curbside takeout. We're only open Friday and Saturday now. In about a week or two, we'll add the other 2 days back on our schedule, which was Wednesday through Saturday. But right now, it's just Friday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And
every Friday and Saturday.
and just for clarification purposes, because a lot of people are, including myself, are kind of confused on how these things work. I go to your restaurant. Do I go in and order and then go back outside, or do I have to call, or how what do I
Yeah.
need to do?
So you call in, place your order, and then we'll give you a scheduled time to come pick up. And
Gotcha.
you come pick up. You can actually come in, but just into the lobby part, not into the actual restaurant. Or we can bring it out to you.
Gotcha. All right, so there you go. Go Vegan Philly, Conshohocken, PA. Definitely want to check it out. All of Philly, New York has come down, Delaware has come up. A lot of people have checked it out and,
Yes,
and are
and all around.
satisfied.
You
Satisfied.
can have people from New York, Bronx, Queens, Harlem, L.A., Sacramento, New Orleans, D.C. We had a lot of good people from around the country come in.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But today we have a interesting topic, and one that I know is near and dear to your heart, and I like to think it's near and dear to my heart as well. But you're a little bit more involved in it than I am personally. But it's something that's been a part of my life since as long as I can remember. Okay, and you've taken it a step further, and we're talking about music and the industry and entertainment and how it affects people, and so music. I just want to say this: music for me has been an integral part of my life, and by that I mean I can remember as a kid getting ready for school, like as a young kid. I mean, like preschool, kindergarten, elementary school. As a young kid, I can remember my mom and dad getting me dressed. I can remember, I think it was, what was the station on the radio at the time? Kiss 100 or something like that. Long time ago. Very long time ago. If you're from Philly and you hear that, that's a very long time ago. And I can remember
Yeah.
every morning, the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy would come on by Bobby McFerrin. Every morning.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I loved that song, my dad knew the words. I didn't really know the words, but my dad knew the words, or he'd be singing all like that. And I can, that's just one of the memories that I have coming up is with that song, associated with that song. I hear that song today, and it takes me to that place. Um, I can remember coming up, folks playing Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson,
Right.
um, you know,
Right.
all those type things, all the old school music. James Brown. My dad loves James Brown. All types of things. Um, and on to today. I mean, there's many songs that take me to a certain place today. If I'm getting ready, trying to get focused for a game or something, or if I'm just trying to relax, or if I'm just trying to entertain people here on New Twist Radio, whatever the case may be. Music plays an integral part of our life. For you, and you have many ways. I'm sure that music has played a part in your life because you have a way that I can't say it played a part in my life. All right, but how has tell the people how has music played a part in your life, or what
Man,
role has music played in your life?
that's my first love, music. When I was, a small child growing up in my house, everybody was doing something in music, whether they were singers, rappers, dancers, singing at the church on the church choir, or, my cousin had, record deals. He was a rapper. So my introduction, like, from the time I was born, it was like my house was nothing but pure hip hop and R&B.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
gospel. That's all day, all night. I had one of them houses, like, we talking back in the 80s when you could leave your door unlocked. You ain't had to worry about locking your doors and all. You know what I mean? The neighbors just come in and yell up the step, "Yo, anybody here?" You know what I mean?
Right.
The music playing all day. People playing spades, pinochle. You know what I mean? All kind of card games and stuff, and just all day and all night. And I was introduced to hip hop early, man. I'm talking about LL Cool J, Run DMC, all that type stuff. And I was like, man, I just wanted to be like them. Some little kid used to get in the mirror, with the brush, with the comb, and thought I was LL Cool J. Like, couldn't tell me I wasn't LL Cool J. Like, you know what I mean? Mama said knock you out, like, milky cereal, all of that stuff, man. I need love. I'm talking that stuff. You know what I mean? So I knew, like, and that was my first love. Before, I've even picked up a basketball, football, any kind of sport, it was music. And then music pushed me into the basketball and the football and all that other type of stuff. And, you know what I mean? So that, man, is a deep love for me with hip-hop and music. You know what I mean? All around. And early introduction.
To the point that you made a career out of it. And not a lot of people can say that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. To a point where I made a nice career, man, and went up the ladder really, really high. You know what I mean? I wrote to some people and, write for myself and had plenty deals. And, the best of the best people always wanted me on their record labels, from 50 Cent to Jay-Z to Timberland to Swiss Beats. So, I've been around, man. I've been around. So I've seen a lot. You know what I mean? Been involved in a lot. And, know some things.
So you said something just now, and stop me if this is not where you want to go yet, but I do know you want to talk about it at some point. But you said that, a lot of guys wanted you on their label. If I can remember back in, I think it was 2011, 2012, 2013, something like that, I interviewed Chill Moody, a local rapper here in Philadelphia, gaining a lot of grounds, very popular here in Philadelphia and outside of Philadelphia as well. And I can remember one of the last questions I asked him before the interview ended was, excuse me, I asked him, he was independent at the time, and I said, do you want to continue to be independent, or do you want to be signed to a label? And, at first, at that time in 2011, 2012, wherever it was, people weren't thinking in the grand scheme, they weren't thinking independent. They were mostly thinking, I got to get signed. I got to get, I have to get found.
Right.
But, people that understood kind of where this thing was going. And he said, because at first I started with, I don't know if this is a stupid question, might be a stupid question. And then I asked him a question. He said, that's actually not a stupid question at all. He said, when you're independent, you have your freedom and all like that, and your money, you keep a lot more of your money or whatever the case may be. Because I remember at the time he was putting a lot of his music out for free, almost kind of like Chance the Rapper was on the internet. And just that interview alone, me doing the show that I was doing even opened my eyes even further to what I could do with the radio station, as opposed to trying to get hired by 99 or 103 or whatever the stations are now. It was do it yourself. So with you at that time, were you thinking I got to get signed, or I'm going to do it my way?
Then I was thinking more in the terms of, it didn't matter to me. The most important part for me then was I just really wanted to get in and next to those guys so I could learn.
Okay.
So I could learn. So it wasn't about, I want $1 million and $2 million, to sign me, and I want this or that, or, I really just want a record deal to be famous. It was more like seeing that these guys took interest in me, trying to let me know that I had something that was worth it. So that was the first part. Like, oh, okay. So, they want me there. So that means I got something. I got something good. And now I'm gonna use that as leverage, and not so much as to give me a record deal or get a record deal, but I'm gonna use this to kind of get inside and kind of learn things from the inside. Right. You know what I mean? Because then I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm just fresh off the block, fresh out the hood, fresh out the the street. Now I want to get in and see how these guys do it, how they maneuver, and learn the business.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, so for me, it was like, if I was to get a deal, I always want to structure it in a way where I still have my ownership and my control, and if I didn't get a deal, cool. Independent was still great for me anyway, because I was already that before I got to those guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, for me, it was, I always wanted to keep ownership and control of myself and my art. You know what I mean? That was most important for me, more than anything, more than trying to get mega famous or, rich or get, all the glitz and glamoury stuff. It was about ownership and control of my art.
And something you just said, excuse me, something you just said, it resounded. It should resound with a lot of people. You said that, you wanted to keep control, keeping a lot of people, a lot of younger people that, get signed. I look at interviews with like Jermaine Dupri, interviews about Heavy D. A lot of different people, who are Dr. Dre, whatever the case may be, whoever it is, singer, rap, whatever it is. A lot of times these new artists, these young artists are excited about getting a deal, and they don't have somebody with them really showing them the ropes, and they really don't own themselves. Right? They kind of get into a situation where they make a music now, the song's not theirs. Right? It belongs to the label now. Because they didn't have the proper knowledge in place to even think about something like that. But what you just said was you wanted to get in there, see how these guys maneuver, see how they work. You wanted to keep you being you. You wanted to you own your name. You don't want a label own your name. Now if you're not on a label anymore, now you can't even use that name anymore because you know what I mean? So so for people that's listening right now that want to go a route like that, do take heed to what Sean just said. Learn what's going on. Learn about it.
Learn first. You know what I mean? That's the first thing. Don't get, because they show you flashy things just to try to make you, impulsive and, you make quick decisions. So that's why like any good artist, ball player, whatever, show you a nice car, show you a chain, some jewelry, some pretty girls, just so you be like, oh man, I ain't never had it, and you just go for it, and then you stuck in a bad spot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I always wanted to think it out, and it's like, I want control. I wanted control of my image and my art because, I never wanted to be like, I always thought like, man, if I don't have control of it, one day somebody may take my image because they own it and put it and attach it to something that I don't agree with.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, I don't want that to happen to me. You know what I mean? So I want ownership and control of my stuff so I'm able to, lease it out or sublease it out, whatever, to, how I want to do it. You know what I mean? Because when they control it, they can just sell it to anything that you don't agree with, but you don't own it. So you can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. You know what I mean? They own it now, and they're making tens of millions and billions off of you, and they never even touched the microphone or touched the pen, a pad, or touched the ball, or touched the, they wasn't, like they say, wasn't what you shooting in the gym. You know what I mean? But you sold all of that. Now they own it. It's theirs. It's theirs. You know what I mean? It's nothing you can do.
Case in point. Let's put a couple examples out there. I can remember in the 90s, early 2000s, if you wanted to have a party, you wanted to go to have something at the club, you handed out flyers. Right? You made little flyers, you hand out flyers, you got pictures on them. You might have a picture of a female on it, you might have a picture of a celebrity on there, something like that. And the picture of the celebrity would imply that this person is going to be there. It may not say it on the flyer, but it's implying. Now, if let's say I'm throwing a party, I'll put your image on there, and let's say you're signed to a label that owns your image. Now, I can either have gotten permission from the label to use your image, and you can't say anything about it because because they own your image, or I could get sued by the label, or flip the coin. If you're not owned by anybody, you can sue me for using your image. Right,
and then also, on that note, but on the other side of that note is the fact that, because I own it now, when people do want to use my image or my music for a certain thing, they don't have to go through all these loops and hoops to get to it. You know what I mean? Especially for us, for our people, for my people, it's like if I own something that was just so brilliant and it lasted for, decades or a century, and people want to sample it or use my, like Muhammad Ali, they'll still just put his face on a commercial, you know what I'm saying? and just, make money off of things because he didn't own his image. They owned it. You know what I mean? Now, I think at some point he was able to buy it back. But, like a Prince song, they'll use a Purple Rain on a mop commercial that, Prince would be like, hell no. I mean, if he owned it.
Let's take Prince even further. Prince, you could not like they have the Tidal, Google, Apple Music, all these music platforms. You would not find Prince's music on any of those platforms. You would not find Prince's music on YouTube or anything because he owned it and he didn't want his music out there on those platforms. It wasn't until he passed away that you could actually get to his music because he owned it. He owned his catalog.
Right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's right. So now imagine if I signed a deal 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and they own my music and my image for 30 years, right? And now here I am sitting up here changing my life to becoming vegan, and then they sell my music to McDonald's.
Wow.
You know what I mean? For a McDonald's commercial.
How about that?
You know what I mean? Or, you feel me? That wouldn't even make sense. Like, wow, like, hold on, wait a minute, that confused people.
Right.
I mean, like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? They'll just, because they own it. They own the masters. That's theirs. You know what I mean? It's their thing, you know what I mean? So, but there's many ways it can work, you know what I mean? Other components and things to it, but
I'll put one more example out there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Because I actually did some. There's a song that I like by Kanye West called "School Spirit," and what I didn't know, because Kanye is like a master at the sample, is Kanye sampled that song from Aretha Franklin, and I was reading about how he was able to do that. Aretha owned her music. She owned everything. So she said she allowed him to sample it, but there were stipulations on it. He could not. There could not be profanity in the song.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about.
So
you know what I mean?
if you get Kanye's album and listen to that song is censored on the album, which really doesn't happen. But that was the stipulations behind him using that sample. So because she owned it. Now, if you go to a label might say, "Yeah, go ahead, use it, whatever, pay us, whatever, and go ahead, use it."
You can be as derogatory as you want to be.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, but that comes with ownership. You know what I mean? You can, lay the law down and say, "Hey, you want to use my image or use my sound? You better make it dignified, but have some respect on it." You know what I mean? And that's what we need to do more of, because we sell we don't even own our own culture. Other people own it. We don't even own it. Other people own it, right? So we can't even sell our culture to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't even sell it to ourselves. Someone else owns it, and then they sell it to our people. They sell it.
Well, they found a way to take our culture and sell it to people.
Yeah,
as opposed to us doing it.
That's right. We don't own it, so we have no control over what's being seen and what's being heard. You know what I mean? So that's like, the dominant images right now for us in hip hop is that of a dope boy and then a stripper.
How about it?
A sex kitten. You know what I mean? Because this is the images they have of us in their head. This is the image that they carved out for us in the world.
Right.
So now, how do you learn your ABC? By repeating it. That's repetitive. That's how you learn ABC. That's how you learn that. You have to repeat it. That gets in your brain. You know what I mean? You'll never forget the ABCs. For as long as you live, you'll never forget it. All somebody has to do is say A and you say B, C, programs you so that's how you program. So now if I own your music, your images and your music and the sound and the things that we're going to put out, if I own it and I'm essentially like your enemy, or I don't really have a care for you in the world, but I own this thing and I know how powerful this thing is. Now, what you think I'm gonna do with it? If I want your people to be messed up in the head and messed up out here in the world, I'll make sure that they repeat the most derogatory and degrading and disastrous things a human could ever repeat to themselves. No one in their right mind will repeat these things to themselves and to their children and allow their children to even be involved in being near it, hear it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when somebody's saying I'm a savage, and you got little 5-year-olds saying this, little children, just got here to Earth. What you know about being a savage? You got little children singing love songs. Ain't even had a girlfriend yet. He ain't but 8 years old, but he already singing "My Baby Done Left Me."
Mm.
you ain't even had a kiss yet. You haven't even kissed a girl. You already singing about love making and you know how you going brat tat tat and do all of this and it's like, wow. We really got to step back and look at it like, wow.
Yeah, the lyrics in our music, and it's been this way for a very long time, are hypersexualized and
hypercriminalized.
Hypercriminalized. Thank you. I was trying to figure out a word to say with it. Hypercriminalized. Yeah. Absolutely. And I can remember back in the 90s, you know, I can remember the government fighting to calm that down. Let's go all the way back to 2 Live Crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not who I was thinking of at first, but let's go there. 2 Live Crew. The government wanted to censor 2 Live Crew. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They would what? Kick them off the stage, lock them up, or whatever the case may be, if they performed certain songs on stage. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, a 2 Live Crew album would probably be, I wouldn't say it would be light. It definitely wouldn't be light today,
right.
But it would fit right into everything that's being said.
It wouldn't be so shocking
at all
to hear.
At all.
You know what I mean? Well, you wouldn't be shocked at all to hear the lyrics. You know, but again, you know, we out here playing checkers with people that's playing chess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We are people out here playing, you know, Candyland with people that's playing Monopoly.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a trick. If I can do what they call like reverse psychology or whatever, if I can trick you into thinking that there's something that I don't want you to have, but actually I want you to have it, I'll just go at you like I'm keeping something good away from you. Like, oh, no, I don't want you to say that on records because it's going to be bad and blah, 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 blah. Now you're fighting to get to say these degrading things. Why are you fighting me to be able to call yourself a bitch and a nigga?
Talk about it. You know, and you know what? Because, you know, I coach baseball. I coach high school baseball. And I talk to the kids about stuff way more than baseball. We talk about life. We talk about things. We talk about music. And I remember it was not this past season because we didn't have one, but last season we're at a practice and, you know, they got some lyrics, you know, whatever the music is, you know, what's going on. I can't really say that I really listen to a lot of today's hip hop music. Certain artists I do, but they were reciting some lyrics and it was mumble rap. And they weren't really like saying the words. And I'm like, well, what's he saying? I said, what's he talking about? He's like, I don't even know, coach.
Oh no.
You know, it was a what would you call it? I guess a culture shock, not a culture shock, but there was a divide between me being in my 30s, them being in their teens, and me not being able to understand why they're listening to this and they don't even know what they're saying.
They don't even know what
but
they're
they're
saying.
Enjoying it. Like, and then the ones where you do know what they're saying, it's like, all right, so they know what they're saying and they want to emulate it. And it's the stuff that they want to emulate is really tearing them down and they don't know it. And I would say to them, I said, this is the stuff that these labels want you to hear this stuff, especially you black kids.
Absolutely.
They want you to hear this stuff because they want you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's an example, and I'm not sure if anybody ever looked at it this way or even thought about this. Let's take Drake. Let's use Drake for an example. Here's a human being that's half black and half Jewish, half white Jewish, to be exact. Now, he can say nigga on his records up and down, up and down, up and down. And they'll play it on the radio. Watch out, Scholar. They'll play it up and down all day long. As long as he's saying nigga, he can, all right, let's not forget. He's half white now, half Jewish. And I done heard every Drake song on planet Earth, and I had yet to hear him disrespect Jews by calling them kikes, because they have a racial slur for themselves. Now, let's see Drake go in the studio and use the word kike as much as he used nigga, and let's see how many times they play that on the radio.
Wow.
He know better.
Wow.
and they
Never
know
thought
that.
about that.
Okay, now you know what I mean, we like to say, oh, he's black just because he's black daddy. No, he's half and half. All right, so he's got enough mustard to disrespect his black blood, but he won't disrespect his white blood. Okay, if you ignorant, you just ignorant. If you ungodly, unspiritual, and ignorant, then you don't know no better left, right, up, or down. You know, I'm out here saying nigga, kike, stick. I'm disrespecting everybody because I'm ignorant like that. So is you real dumb or you real stupid? Or you trying to play us? Because there's racial disrespectful words. White people made them up for everybody but themselves. White people don't have racial slur. Everybody else got one. Spick, gook, nigga, kike. Everybody got one. Redback, wetback. Everybody got one except for white people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm saying when he go in the studio, how come he don't rhyme nothing with kike?
Because they own them and they won't let them say it. But go ahead.
That's the you know, the nigga to your nigga. Kike is what they call them. But I don't hear Jewish people going around saying, "Yo, what's up, my kike?" Oh, that's my nigga.
Not at all.
Okay, and if you say it on the record, you could pretty much trash your whole career because you'll be you're apologizing for the next 10 years about it.
Right.
Okay, so. Okay, like I say, you're real dumb or you're real smart. Because you go in there, Drake done said nigga on every record he's ever made. Okay, his records don't even go out. It won't even go off the press without him saying nigga. I mean, that might be in their contract. You got to say nigga 47 times in order to get this record on the radio.
Now, let me ask you this as an insider. Because this is something I've always wanted to know. This is something that I've always actually kind of subscribed to in a sense, but never really actually knew, so I didn't really like put it out there as gospel. Will that happen? Something like that happen at a label where maybe they want, you know, you haven't used the word nigga now, or maybe you haven't, you know, killed somebody on the album, or you know what I mean? Like, will stupid stuff like that happen where they want you to put it in there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're not promoting any artist that's not disrespecting black people. They're not going to do it. If you're not going to degrade yourself and disrespect yourself, they ain't got no promotional dollars for you. That's why the image remains the same. That's why the image is so constant. From Lil' Kim to Nicki Minaj to Cardi B to Megan Thee Stallion to all the other, they're all the same.
Right.
It's the same sex kitten, you know, stripper, bad bitch, savage. It's the same.
And it seems like the female rappers, and we're not really trying to dog them, but it seems like the female rappers have been cut from the same cloth since Lil' Kim.
Yeah, same cloth, right? Okay. Now I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to put their stuff out and shouldn't be able to speak no. Where's the balance?
Right.
Where's the other female artist that's talking like Lauryn Hill or
where's the Lauryn Hill?
Something like that?
Yeah.
You know, where's the balance?
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for the men. The shoot 'em up, bang bang. I sold more dope than everybody. I killed everybody in my neighborhood. Ain't no more people left in my neighborhood because I killed them all. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
The Molly Percocet, take the dope, take the drugs, shoot blah, blah, blah. Okay, where's the other? You know, I'm just saying balance. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there. I'm just saying where's the other stuff? If these people that own the record labels that also own the media, the radio stations, okay, if you want to convince me or prove me wrong, then where's your marketing, your $1 million budget for the artist who's trying to uplift the culture, uplift the people, and talking positivity and talking other things to get into children's heads.
And that goes into what you said earlier, the ownership. If we're not owning the culture, we're not going to be able to get that message out there.
That's right. If you don't own it, you don't own it. You don't control it. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
We got to control the narrative. That's what Neutrals Radio is about. Controlling the narrative.
That's right, and that's the good part. The good thing about this internet and being able to have internet radio and things where we can control the narrative and control what we talk about, how we talk about it, and when we talk about it. You know what I mean? Because Lord knows, 12,000 radio stations or something like that, 5,000 newspapers. We don't own none of them.
Mm-mm.
We don't own any. How are we going to communicate with our people if we don't own any media?
Right.
How are we going to communicate with our people? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this not a bashing on anybody. I'm just saying, where's the balance? So where's the artist that's on Interscope or Universal or Def Jam or whatever that is talking the opposite of what the other guy's talking or the other girl is talking, and it's being equally as promoted and played an equal amount of times on the radio?
Right.
To say, okay, now that you heard you just ain't nothing but a thought and a bad bitch. Here's one saying you're a queen, you're righteous, you got dignity, integrity, and be smart, be educated, be whatever. Okay, we gave you enough of the guy telling you go get a gun, shoot your brother, your sister ain't nothing but a B, sell this dope, do the mine. Oh, here's the other guy saying don't do drugs ain't cool. You know what I mean? Don't do the, you know what I'm saying? Where the next song after next song after next song is the same message.
Let me ask you a question. Being, and it's just an opinion, so people don't get excited about what he may or may not say. I'm thinking about some female artists that growing up that I would listen to and that were out when we were growing up. Come to mind, you got Roxanne Shante comes to mind. Queen Latifah comes to mind. Moni Love comes to mind. MC Lyte comes to mind. And then Salt and Pepper come to mind. And then like I'm thinking of artists. I'm thinking of an artist like Missy Elliott and the Brat. Okay, and I think about when they first came out, when the Brat first came out, big clothes, funkified, all that. Missy Elliott walking around with the trash bag or whatever that was she had on in the video, and then even those two became sexualized in a sense.
Right.
Not whether it was their choice to do so or not, but it just seemed like you had a certain type of artist when they first came out, and then they kind of changed their whole style a little bit. And I wonder if it was the industry or if it was it them that caused that.
As I like to think of it as a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, you have the right and you have the power to say no. I don't think we use no enough.
Oh, that's absolutely true because a lot of people get money thrown in front of them and they don't know how to say no.
Yeah, I don't think we use no enough. Like, no, well, I'm cool. Enough is enough. I mean, just look at it. You know what I mean? I hate to keep harping on it, but somebody has to say it because I think right now a bunch of people are afraid to say what needs to be said because they don't want to look uncool. We so worried about looking cool and being so cool with the youth and being so this down that you're not telling them what they need to hear, really, what they should be hearing. Mm-hmm. If I see a kid smoking crack or something, I'll be like, yo, don't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Doing hair, I'll be like, yo, no, put that down, man. Don't do that. But if I see a woman out here on Instagram or whatever, shaking her ass, twerking every day, or young boy pulling gun, it's like I ain't gonna say nothing because I want to just be cool about it. So let me know. Go at it the same way you would go at it if you was out here doing something else crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's crazy too. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just like that's not freedom. It's like they only left you with the freedom of exploiting yourself. You have no other freedom except for the freedom to exploit yourself and degrade yourself.
Right.
For $1. Right. Other than that, you ain't got it. I mean, that's why as rappers we rap so much about the women we have and the women, because after that, white men ain't leave you much of nothing else to talk about. Mm. You ain't got nothing out here in the world. You don't own nothing worth talking about.
They want you to disrespect them too.
Okay, and that's right, and disrespect them. Call them all kind of whatever, whole B, thought, whatever you want, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. How many times has it changed to something derogatory? We done went from hoe to skeezer to thought to bitch to. We just keep making up more derogatory terms for our women, and nobody ever thought to say, hey, how come we never name them nothing positive? Slut, whore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just keeps you from something bad to something worse. And nobody ever said, let's change all of this and just say something good about it. Yeah. Let's say something good. We ain't got no good word. We ain't got nothing. We call them good. We used to call them honey, sweet, sugar. Now it's just like, Let's go from whole to side.
It's the positive, and we've said it on the show many times. The positive doesn't get promoted, and even in your own speech, the positive doesn't get promoted. You know what just came to my head? You remember the Fugees album, the Score, their second album, their last album that they had as a group. Lauryn Hill, I forgot which track it was, but Lauryn Hill was her verse, and she said something like, even with my thoughts and my theories, I add a MFer so you ignorant niggas hear me.
Yeah. Yep.
And like there was so that verse and just that line in that verse was so profound. Right?
Absolutely.
Because
and it's sad. It's profound and sad at the same time.
Right. Let me give you something personal. When I first heard that, right? When I first heard that, it opened my eyes to how ignorant I was. Because I was listening, but I wasn't hearing. And then when she said that, I was like, damn, that was me. That was me who she was just talking to just now. That was me.
Right.
Let me run this back. Let me hear what else she just said. Because I was just ignorant to the whole verse that she just dropped on there. She said, "I had a MF," and that's when I started listening. When I heard the MF, you ignorant niggas. I was like, wow, damn. I said, that's me. Let me change this up.
I can't even talk righteously and talk, respectfully because you won't hear me. So let me throw a little bit of ignorance in there just so you can now pay attention.
Right. And I've been paying attention ever since. Been paying attention ever since.
You feel me? And that's sad because no other people operate that way.
Right.
No other people are on that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or there where, I gotta be ignorant to get known. No, we're trying to get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So when them Jewish people came up out of them camps and rose up out of there, everything's a fight, for supremacy and a fight for respect for your race, your people out here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing nothing but individual. He got us in an individual game. It's just all about me. I don't care about Justin. I'm trying to get mine. It's about me, and I don't care how I do it, how I get it. I don't care what mess I leave for his children and my children. I just want to party while I'm here, and when I'm dead, I'm gone. But I ain't made nothing better for my children or my neighbor's children.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do we counteract that? How do we go about counteracting that ignorance and those messages? I mean, those messages, unfortunately, I feel like those messages are at this point always going to be out there. And even if they're not always going to be out there, it's on the internet, so it's going to be out there forever anyway, right? So how do we redirect the thought process? I mean, when I think about the thought process of our folks in the 80s and the early 90s, the medallion days, the fight to power days, totally different from what it is now, and we've become, I hate to say it, but we've become a weaker culture. As part of us are becoming stronger, I think as a whole our culture has become weaker. Honestly,
we have to reject that impulse, that urge. We have to, like I said, we don't say no enough. We have to reject it. I mean, examine why this white man or whoever is willing to pay you to disrespect yourself. Take a look at that. How much? Look at, they are willing to give you. Okay, the moment you stop disrespecting yourself, the check stops.
I guess we gotta recognize the ignorance and the disrespect first, right?
Yeah, you got to. You got to start there and say, man, this ain't working for us. It hasn't worked in our favor at all. It hasn't worked. We're at the bottom. Everybody's calling themselves a savage now. They got this new thing. Everybody is savage. Okay, really? I wish y'all was really savages. Maybe we'd be number one. True savages end up on top, not on the bottom.
Right.
Okay, real savages end up on top, not the bottom. If you're at the bottom, you're nothing close to a savage. You are a victim.
Right. You're a worker.
You understand what I'm saying? You're the bottom. As a people, we're on the bottom of everything except for illness. Then we number one. Then we number one in heart disease and everything, diabetes and obesity. Yeah, we number one there. But anything that matters, land, wealth, ownership, being able to hire people, we at the bottom. But we walking around here talking about we savages. You ain't nothing like no savage. If you was savage, then that white man would stop messing with you. But you ain't no savage. That's why I keep messing with you. And ain't nothing savage about you.
I think about ways to counteract the ignorance and that stuff like that. And I think about how the ignorance ends up being so prominent. A lot of it comes back to money and ownership. If we control the narrative and own the product, we can actually throw the real money, the good money, at the positive and make the positive popular.
This world, especially this country, that's all it knows. Control, ownership. Okay, this is why when these rappers go sideways out their mouth and say something about the Jews, it gets shut down because they're like, we are in control and we are going to control the narrative about us. And we're not going to allow you to say anything that goes against the picture we want to paint of ourselves. We're not going to allow you to paint another picture about us that we don't want, so we'll shut it down.
Let me
take it. About it.
Let me take it to the other side of the coin for people that, because there's going to be some people that listen to what we're saying and just don't believe us, right? They're just not. They're going to look like us, but they just don't believe us because they don't think it's possible because they don't know what we know, believe what we believe, or seen what we have seen, whatever the case may be. Right. So let me flip it. And some people are not going to like what I'm about to say. And I don't care. You know, take it for what it's worth. Donald Trump, President of the United States. Okay. He has been up until the point that he got into politics or was like a serious presidential candidate. He had been liked by a lot of people, almost everybody, black, white, red, all over, whatever the case may be. Right. Snoop Dogg, Jada, the rappers was all over. They wanted to be Trump. They wanted to be like Trump, had the Trump money, right? Trump understood. I mean, people think he's an idiot, and whatever the case may be, but he understood one thing he understands is people, and he understands ignorance, and he understands what gets people going. So what did he do as soon as it became time for him to get voted in the president? He saw that there was a black president. He saw that there were some people that were not happy about there being a black president, and what did he do? He played to those other people.
He played that tune.
He played that tune, and he's still playing that tune because he wants to stay in office. Genius, if you ask me. You may not like it, but it's genius because what do you got to get the people going? You got to get them motivated, whether it be ignorant or not. He did what he had to do because he knew that ignorance runs this country. And he knows that the people he's playing to, he knows these people are ignorant. He don't think, he can't think that, well, he could, but he knows they're ignorant. All right, I'm just putting it, he knows that they're ignorant, but he's playing to the ignorant. Okay? Like any good drug dealer, you sell what the people want. You sell what the people want, and you worry about the consequences later.
That's it. You sell what they want. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go on a heroin block trying to sell weed. That's not what they smoke on that block.
That's not what they do. That's not what they looking for.
Telling people what they want. That's that's what it's about. It ain't about nothing else. Mm-hmm. It's what this country is about, man. It's what this world is about.
And here's a problem. Let me say, the problem is, and it goes back to what you said about the ownership and us not owning the culture. The problem is these people are coming on our block, not selling us what we want. They're telling us what we want, and we're believing it.
I mean, look at this. Look how easy it is for them to call you ugly without calling you ugly. They'll name the wig shops and the weave shops beauty salons. That's them calling you ugly.
Mm-hmm. That's them calling you ugly. Your natural beauty ain't enough.
Ain't enough. You ain't beautiful. You ugly. You don't get beautiful until you leave our store with a bag full of our poison.
Right.
Now you beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay, they call it the beauty supply store, which means you walk in there ugly. Okay, that means that's why I don't get into this conversation with people about God and all this stuff. How much God you love when you don't even believe God even made you beautiful, made you nothing. I don't want to hear nobody talking no crazy. Oh, I'm just enhancing and all that. Go try to enhance the ocean. Go try to enhance the sun, enhance the moon, enhance the mountain. You ain't never tried to enhance or glamorize none of that. And God made the same God that made you. But you in the mirror trying to enhance something, ain't doing nothing but killing yourself.
Look, I've told
you think there's something wrong with you, and God did something wrong to you. Again, I don't care what nobody say. You could try to then you can say, well, all you want to. I know what it is. I've been here long enough to know what it is. That's why those beauty supply shop and beauty makes so much money, and that's why they never close, always open, because you believe you ain't nothing. You believe you ugly. You ain't believe you ain't, and somebody gonna make you beautiful because God couldn't do it.
I think it's so sad when I see women putting on makeup, but I think it's extremely sad when they put on a bunch of makeup. I think it's sad, man.
Right now, you got women looking worse than drag queens. It's like women wake up, look in the mirror, and say, "What else could I do today to make myself look less human?"
Right.
Okay. When you trying to keep up with a man trying to be a woman, there's something wrong with you. Okay. I remember growing up, you know, seeing the drag queens. You know, they wear blue hair, green hair, red hair. You know, the eyelashes that flutter look like I don't know what, and all this makeup. Okay, and now I look at real women, and they have on the same uniform.
And we can't tell the difference.
I can't tell the difference. I don't know if you a woman playing a woman or a man trying to play a woman. I can't tell. And that's when it's over. When the oppressed take on the characteristics of the oppressor, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm. Wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Wrap it up. Okay? You got women out here trying to keep up with men that's trying to be women, trying to outdo a drag queen. And this ain't a sexuality comment. I don't care who you sleep with, who you kiss on, what you doing. I don't care. I'm talking about what I see right now. Right. Real women trying to outdo men that's trying to outdo women. So it's an overcorrection. Everybody's going way overboard. I just want a woman. I don't want whatever this is. You can take that off. Take that off your face. Take that off your head, please. I'm scared. You are scaring me. You got Kool-Aid red, green hair, blue. What the hell's going on here? I mean, okay, I can understand y'all putting little eyelashes on now. The eyelashes is just growing now. Like you said, look like you're about to fly away. Boatload of makeup, fake breasts, fake butt, fake nails, fake eyes, fake hair, fake this, fake that. You ain't got. That's a man, dog. I don't care what nobody. I don't care. That's a dude underneath all that. Because no woman need all of that fakeness. If she a real, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
White women was getting implants trying to keep up with black women who had ass. Mm-hmm. Now black women going out getting fake ass trying to keep up with the white girl that was trying to keep up with them. It's insane. It's insane.
It's insane. And they putting
it's insane.
They putting big old basketball butts on some pickup stick legs.
Sacrificing their lives.
Right.
These people are sick, and you want to convince me.
People are dying. People are literally dying over these implants.
And they'll try to talk to you and convince you that there's nothing wrong with them. You are mentally ill.
Yes. You
mentally ill. That's like me chopping off my real legs and then going to get some prosthetics. Mm-hmm. Dude, you had legs already. What are you doing? I ain't want to. I cut those off. I got to take. Let me cutting on my own head and then go get another head. Like you are sick.
Right. You're
sick, and you don't even recognize it. You recognize it, but you just don't want to say it.
We gotta know you're beautiful, right? And and Cat Williams said it best. It's called self-esteem. Nobody should have to tell you you're beautiful. I'll tell my wife she's beautiful, but I don't have to tell her because she knows it, right?
That's right.
And I'm sure your wife's the same way. You don't have to tell her. You tell her, but you don't have to tell her because she knows it. And every woman within the sound of my voice should know you are doggone beautiful. All right? I don't care what you look like. You're beautiful.
That's right. If you live for the applause of the crowd, that's the same applause you're gonna die by too.
Exactly.
You're gonna die by that, man. We have to fix it. We have to fix it because white people, Asians, Arab, they're not gonna fix it for us. We have to fix it ourselves.
They got their own problems in their own community. They got to do it.
Okay, and they got their own problems that they can't fix. That's why they hire us to fix them. That's why they hire us to fix them.
Man.
Okay, CNN tells you every day that they don't have the answers to black people problems. They tell you every single day. Okay, but they don't mind taking your college-bound kid that's going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or a scientist or whatever, and then hiring them in their community, and then he fixes their problems. Meanwhile, your community is still going down. Why? Again, it ain't your kid got all these degrees, but you forgot to build him a facility that he can administer all these degrees. that he can work on all these. He don't have a facility. Who owns the facilities? They do, which means he has to work for them on whatever they want him to work on or they want her to work on. And he's not working on no problems for you. That's why we still at the bottom. 2020, we're still marching, still protesting, making cardboard signs, yelling, screaming, and crying. Okay? We got all these so-called educated Negroes. What they working on for us? Nothing. Now, they working on everything for white folks, how to build China up, how to build Europe up, how to build this up, how to build. They ain't building nothing in your community. They got all these degrees, business administrator. You ain't got nowhere to administer. You ain't got nowhere to administrate. Where you going? Who you going to work for?
Meanwhile, they're coming into our community and pushing us out and rebuilding our community because we didn't do it ourselves. Rebuilding our community, trying to make it look nicer to attract more people to come in and push us out.
Anything
because we didn't take care of our own.
That's right. Anything we make hot, if we like it, white people going to take it.
Absolutely. Boxer braids. Boxer braids.
They took her.
You said
y'all
who?
like Tina Turner. They took her.
They took Tina.
Tina, take her. O.J. Simpson, take her.
Yo,
Kanye,
there's a whole generation of people that think Angela Bassett is Tina Turner.
Right. Right.
And they think Ike Turner is the grandfather on Blackish. You know that?
Right.
Whole generation.
Right. But if we the only people out here, our children don't know nothing about themselves. They don't know their history.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Like we said before, there's far greater reasons to educate a child other than go to school and get a job. Other than to just get a job. Right. No other culture sends their kids to school just so they be able to find a quote unquote good job. Because ain't no such thing as a good job. Ain't no such thing as a good job. If you have a job, it ain't good because somebody can make sure you don't have a job whenever they feel
right.
like it.
If you're working and you cannot pass that business on or that work on to your next, then it's not a good job. You have a job.
No good job. Okay, you know who got a good job? Queen Elizabeth, because she ain't never worked a damn life. She ain't know how to spell job. That's a good job.
Yeah, that's a real good job.
All right, it's a real good job. All right, nobody telling her.
And she already knows who's going to have it next.
Okay, nobody telling her what time she got to get up, clock in, how many vacation days she got, how many sick days she got. I mean, okay, she don't even know how to spell job, and none of her children and grandchildren know how to spell it either.
Do you have a good job with Go Vegan?
Absolutely, because I own it. Control it.
There you go.
I have an awesome one.
Prime example right here on Let's Not Argue. Hey, look, we got to get ready to wrap this up, man, because we can go all day.
Right, but the end it off. Nothing can change. It's a good reason to me. I think a lot of things won't change because, again, just like in 1860, 99% of black people work for white people. In 2020, that number never changed. So how could I get out here and say what's real when it goes against my check?
Right.
If I say what's real, then I might not have a job no more. So a lot of black people are what I like to call POWs, POWFs, prisoners of white friendship.
Ooh, okay. I just almost knocked the headset off my head. Okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? They prisoners of white friendship and white ownership, white bosses. They prisoners of that. They can't get on Facebook and talk how I talk. They can't get on Instagram and talk how some of us talk because they work for other people. And the other people, if they don't like what you just said, then, hey, you can't pay that mortgage next month because they take that.
Oh, yeah. They want you to be good workers.
So how can you fight the power when you work for it?
And I'm there. That's where I am. I'm a prime example. I work for a big company. I'm not gonna put it out there who I work for. I work for a big company. Been working for a big company for years. But what I'm working on is not working for that company.
Right.
That's what I'm working on. Because I want to control my narrative. All right. That's what I want to do.
And I'm saying this. Like I said, I'm not saying it's to put anybody down. I'm saying, hey man, this is where it's come to for us. Whatever it is. But how can you fight the power when you work for it? You can't. Unless you absolutely ready to let go of that and deal with whatever,
I think people should be ready, to let that go. Even if they don't want to let it go, they should be prepared to let it go because you can be let go.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
At any time. Look at it right now. Everybody's unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got no. Okay, when they say they ain't paying, that's it. It's over. When they say it's done, it's done.
Right.
And ain't no black people in no room making no decisions for black people. Wasn't nobody in the room when they decided nigga was gonna be the N-word now. Wasn't no niggas in that room helping them make that decision. Then no black people helped decide that Martin Luther King birthday was gonna be on the calendar. That's white people deciding that. That's white people deciding that. We don't own the calendar. They own the calendar. They the only people in control of changing the days around and putting the holidays on it.
Yeah.
No black people in charge of that. Okay? So if it's there, white people put it there. Black people like to think they had something to do. We had nothing to do with it. We had no hand in that decision. Okay? When white people want something, they'll give it. Okay, cool. Just like with civil rights movement. That's all tricks. If I make you feel like it's something over here that I don't want you to have, I'll fight you on it. You'll fight me back for it. Then you'll get it. And then we come to the spot where we realize that it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
It just gave them access to our money.
Right. Right.
That's all. That's it. Okay. You don't want your own bus? You don't want your own hotel? You don't want your own hospital? You mean tell me you want to come to mine and spend all your money over it? Oh, okay. Well, let's do it. Great. Integrate. And now we'll break down every structure y'all built. And it'll be gone like it is today. Vanish. Vamoose. Gone.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought. Something for them to think about. You too. And I don't want you to answer because I know when I say it, you're going to want to answer it right away. I don't want you to. I just want to. I want us to think about it for a week. Okay. What would happen? Excuse me. What would happen if all the black folks in the world were able to create on their own and found a way to avoid paying taxes? Okay. Just think about that for a while. If we were able to, let's say Go Vegan Philly wants to advertise on New Twist Radio. Okay, let's do it. All right, you give me this, I'll play your ad 100 times a day. All right, we're gonna do this off the table. We're gonna do this under the table. All right, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? And now you got money coming from the listenership, and then let's say let's say Go Vegan Philly did not have to go through, whatever type of licensing or whatever you had to go through. Let's just say you could do it the way you wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What if we didn't have to go through all that? Would the country even survive? No. Oh, I didn't mean to answer it. Sorry. Didn't mean to start. My fault.
No. I mean, you're right. I mean, we make everything around the world go. They use our energy to make everything popular, make everything go. We make everything go. The problem is we make nothing go for ourselves. We make them things go for everybody but ourselves.
Absolutely.
Without us, there is no go. We built everything. If you're looking at a building right now that's erect from the ground, we built that. We built everything. Every time you go in a building downtown, we build the buildings, and then they tell us we can't go in them.
Right.
We built everything. Think about this. We won't leave on the last thought. I want you to think about this. What would happen to black children if they saw more images of themselves in power positions and not the servant?
Even better. And I'm not going to answer it. Because that's something I think about on a daily basis.
I want you to think about it. How many times, I want y'all to really think if you're listening. How many times do your child, a black child, you sit them in front of the television or a cell phone or a tablet, and the only thing they watching is white children and other children having a beautiful time. And the only time they see themselves is during a dysfunctional time.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you.
The white male is the most desired on that program. Okay? The black male is never desired. Okay, the white girl is most beautiful. The hair is luxurious. The black girl, little girl, never. Okay, so what do you think that does to a black mind as it's developing and growing?
Can I give an example? Because this came to my mind, and it used to bother me as a kid, man. It used to bother me, man. I used to watch Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Turtle was the baddest thing on the planet back then to me.
I think I know where you're going. Yep.
Why she ain't had no boyfriend?
Okay.
Where were her dudes at? Why wasn't nobody?
Okay.
She had a boyfriend one time with Zach Morris one time, and I didn't even like that. I was like, man,
Okay.
where are her dudes at? How come there's only one black person on this show?
Okay.
Where are people at? Bayside High only got one black person in the whole district.
Okay, they was chasing Zach and everybody else around. They was chasing all
Zach
everybody.
and Slater and Kelly and what was the other?
Okay.
Jesse.
Yes.
The one that the baddest one on there was the nerd boy.
Right. Skeeter.
Screech.
What's my man's name?
It was Screech. Dustin.
What was his name?
Screech. Dustin Diamond.
Yeah, Dustin. Yeah. Screech.
Screech.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's deep, man. It's deep. And it's like, you know, we these images get caught up in our head, man. Even looking at Family Matters, it's like the black girl did not want him because he was a nerd, like he was smart. Mm-hmm. No, I need you to be Stefan Urkel, not Steve Urkel.
Not the smart nerdy boy that's going to change the world.
No, I need you to be a player,
right?
That's going to destroy me in my heart.
Exactly.
That's who I want. You know what I'm saying?
Even the G.I. Joe cartoon only had one of us on it. The whole army only had one of us. Come on.
One. and we fought in every war for the country. Every single one was fought in.
Every war. And we had one G.I. Joe.
Everyone. We fought in every war for this country. There's no more we said it before, there's nobody more patriotic than black people. We fought in every single war.
Every single one. Now
for a country where we ain't had no freedoms.
I want to take this back to your original question because we just kind of went off on it. But
What
would happen if our children saw more positive images that on TV that look like them?
Images.
How would their mindset be changed? All right.
How would it?
And we had those. We had those. And we had, we didn't have a lot, but we had those. You understand what I'm saying? For a little while. We had the Cosbys, we had A Different World, we had Living Single. And actually I was watching some on YouTube, and I know we gotta wrap this up, but I was watching something with the guy that played Kyle Barker on that show. And he was talking about how the women, the industry or the studio, whoever it was, wanted the women to, wanted a certain thing from the women, but the women of the show wanted to be. No, I'm sorry, it was Martin. It was on Martin. I think they were talking about how the joke about Tommy not having a job, but in reality, all of them had a job. But the women controlled their narrative of they wanted to be executives. They wanted to show positive image of black women being executives. And they put that in there. We went on. And Living Single, there was executive. Khadijah Queen Latifah owned her own magazine.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And hired family.
Right.
So these images we control the narrative.
Right.
Just get our own back on TV.
And that's the good thing about the time we live in right now with the internet, YouTube, and Netflix, and all these little independent setups. Like, we can now stop writing the stereotypical image of the black man, and of the black woman. Now we can write our own story and put it out ourselves. Or, like I said, there's companies like Netflix, places like that now that'll buy it and say, we'll play it.
Yep.
We'll put it on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we don't have to continue to write the dope boy and the whatever, the crackhead girl. We don't have to write it no more just to appease the others out here that carved out in their minds that we ain't nothing but low life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually looked up last night. It's funny that we're talking about. I actually looked up last night black-owned streaming services, and I only looked at one article because I was in the middle of I was on the clock, so I only looked at one article, and it was like the top 5. The top 5 black streaming services, and I went through and I looked at some of the content on there. I wasn't able to, I had to subscribe to watch the stuff. But I looked at some of the content on there, and it's a shame that we don't support those more. You know what I'm saying? We were late to the game, so that's going to happen when you're late to the game. You're not going to get the backing.
Here's another thought. Here's another question for people: how interested are you in an environment or a world that doesn't involve white people? How interested are you in doing business with your own people? for most part, because you can't, it's tough to cut out all of it. You know, you still got to catch an airplane. That's owned by white people. You still got to stay in a hotel. That's owned by white people.
Speaking of which, I heard today. I don't know if you heard it. Actually, somebody told it to me. Warren Buffett sold all of his airline stock because he said it's about to be. He said it's about to be because I think they said something about them cutting out the middle seat on all the airlines or something like that. Now listen.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to make more room for the social distance.
Right. Now listen. I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot, but I do know one thing: when Warren Buffett moves, things move with it. And if he's doing something like that, he knows things.
Oh yeah,
he knows things. People go to Warren Buffett. People that we know that are rich and famous go to Warren Buffett for advice. So, just putting that out there for the people. I don't own any airline stock, and I think that's a fortunate thing now because people are going to start selling. But I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, I want to do business with my own. I do, and I'm not.
I want black people to ask themselves, how interested are you in doing more business? But because we have those products that you buy wherever else we have them. You know what I'm saying? Man, we have it in abundance all around the country, around the, you know what I mean? But we have them. But how interested are you to wake up every day and just say to yourself, let me see how many black businesses I can patronize today before I actually have to get something from another business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Food, water, clothes, every hat, shoes, makeup, whatever it is, pedicure, manicure, whatever it is, haircut, whatever it is. When I wake up, let me see how many of these services I can get from black people before I have to get it from an Asian, Arab, white, whatever.
I've actually read an article years ago, a few years back, probably 5-6 years ago, about a man or a family that actually did that. They did it for a year. And I guess they were successful doing it. I guess if, they wouldn't write the article if they were not successful. But one of the things that they had to do was, the not many black-owned gas stations. So what they did was, they found a black-owned gas station. Maybe it wasn't within driving distance, but they would buy gift cards from them. So now that gas station is actually getting the money. And they would spend the gift card at a station closer to them or whatever the case may be. So to do that, you're going to have to do some innovative thinking, some creative thinking to do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. But you have to be willing to do that. Got to be willing to do it.
And I mean, for some people that in the game of Monopoly, everybody started off with 1,500. We never got our 1,500. You know what I mean? So that's why we're behind. I mean, you can't even play the game of Monopoly. Everybody starts off with $1,500. Black people didn't get to $1,500. So they look at you like, oh, how come you can't catch up? How come you can't get in the game? How come you lazy? Or that. That's after we build the whole world. Then they call you lazy. After we build the whole world. But, that's another conversation. But in the game of Monopoly, everybody starts off with $1,500. This is so you can move around the board. You can buy property. You can trade. You can do whatever. We never got it. So how in the hell? Okay, but still, we're still here and we're still kicking ass. And this is what upsets us because we shouldn't be here after all that damn abuse.
No.
We shouldn't be here. We're still here, still figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? But now we have to dig a little bit more deeper. We got to dig a lot more deeper and buckle down and be diligent and be militant about it. And say, no, I'm not going to just keep throwing my dollars away because their children don't have to commit crime because we keep giving them all our money. That's the power. They have it in their pocket. How come they have everything? How come they have nice neighborhoods, nice schools, nice this, private jets and vacations and trips, and the kids don't have to go out and rob and steal? Because they have all our money. They have all our money. If they didn't have all our money, then maybe their kids would have to be criminalized too and be robbed and steal. And maybe they wouldn't have 20 private jets, just one, because we keep giving them all our money. We keep giving it to them. And of course, they're going to make a beautiful neighborhood for themselves because they building it on our backs, on our money, on our wallets. And our money, our neighborhoods is disheveled because we're not spending our money in our community. We're spending it outside of it. The mall is in their community.
Right.
The restaurant restaurant, all the good downtown, it's in their community. So we giving them their money. Of course, they're gonna have better things, and we're not gonna have good things because we're not spending it with ourselves, building ourselves up. I'm not telling you to cut everybody out, and it's not a hate speech. It's not a Lord knows we never be racist. We never ever be that. That white people own that. That's theirs. We never get that from them. But be mindful as much as you can. And say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna opt to go buy it from over here instead of over there. As much as I can. If they run out, then of course I got to go, back over here and get it over here until they restock. But how many black businesses own that can I patronize before I actually have to say, okay, well now now I got to go over here and get it, because they don't have it or whatever, they ran out.
Right.
But that helps build it. Rome wasn't built in a day. People always, when you talk this all, people always say, when you say, let's start our own NFL. Let's start our own NBA. Oh, man, we can't. Rome wasn't built in a day. The NBA, what they got, 32, NFL, 32 teams now? It didn't start with 32.
No.
It didn't start with 32 teams. They built it. It started with what? I don't know,
like
6, 8?
8, something like that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's all over the country. All they 32. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Same with the NBA. We got teams that's not even in America. They in Canada. We got a team in Canada. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to start somewhere. And I'm going to just end this. I'm going to end this right here. Black people problem is we don't want to fight. If you recognize the enemy, then you are forced to fight. We don't recognize we have any enemies because we are not prepared to fight. It's just like the coward little boy, and I hate to use that word. One thing I'm calling back because I love black people. That's why I'm talking like this. That's why I'm willing to stick my neck out there for you and talk like this and put myself on the line because I love you. But it's just like the scared kid in the schoolyard that does not want to recognize the bully. Does not want to recognize him because if I recognize that he's bullying me, then I have to fight him, and you're not prepared to fight. You're scared to fight. You think you're going to lose. So that kid just doesn't even acknowledge the bully. He just keep getting slapped every day in his lunch money taken. Doesn't even go home and tell his parents. He's just losing weight every day. Ain't been eating. Bully keep taking my food. Bully keep taking my lunch money. I'm just not even going. And the other kids are saying, yo, why you letting them do that? Oh, man, no, I ain't even got time for that today. Ain't got time for that today. Ain't trying to hear that. Ain't got time. It's all good. It's all good. It ain't all good. Black people don't want to. When you recognize you have an enemy, you must fight.
You gotta fight.
So everybody has an enemy except for black people, and that's destroying us. Chinese people have an enemy. White people have an enemy. Arabs have an enemy. Asians. Everybody got an enemy except for us. Wow. Everybody want to be our friend. That's why we at the bottom because everybody want to help us. When everybody want to help you, you up on top with them. When everybody loved you and wanted to help you, you wouldn't be at the bottom, a constant bottom for centuries.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. We're going to wrap this up. Plug the restaurant again, man.
Go Vegan Philly, Conshohocken, PA. That's 401 Fayette Street. You can Google it. Look on Instagram or Facebook, Go Vegan Philly. We're open from 5 to 10 p.m. right now because of the shutdown. We cut back a few days, but everything is still going awesome and amazing. So we're going to add the rest of our days back. 401 Fayette Street. That's Go Vegan Philly. I'm trying to do my part to help my community change their diets. That's a major part, too, to how you think and how you act. It's what you consume. What are you consuming? I'm just trying to do what I can do, man. And I'm going to continue to do that.
And you are definitely appreciated for that. If nobody has told you, but I'm sure they have, you are definitely appreciated for what you do, man. And you've opened my eyes to a lot of things over the time that we've known each other. And I appreciate that as well, man. I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you again for joining us on this show, joining us on this journey. Make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff, wherever it is. And check us out on New Twist Radio, newtwistradio.com, and the New Twist Radio app. And you can get the New Twist Radio app from the Google Play Store, all right? So for Sean and myself, I want to thank y'all for joining us again for this edition of Let's Not Argue. We'll talk to y'all next time. We out of here. Peace.